informal organization. Okay, for explaining the meaning of informal organization, I am going to use the same diagram here, because like I told you, once again I would like to remind you that the informal organization emerges in formal organization. Okay, very first formal organization comes into existence, and thereafter informal organization will be created on its own. Nobody creates it. It gets created automatically on the basis of the interaction and the people who are there in this organization, in the formal organization, when they communicate and interact with each other beyond their official roles. Then what happens? Just due to the similar nature of interest, some kind of groups are formed, okay, on the basis of their interest, and such kind of small several groups form the informal organization in one enterprise. How? I just explain you by example. See, this X, I just name it X1, Y2, Y1 and Z1, and this X2, Y2, Z2. Say for example, this X1 and this Y2 and Z2, they three are neighbors. Okay, they just live in nearby area. Fine. However, this X1 is related to different department, but they have proper bond. Okay, when they are neighbors, they after office they meet each other. Okay, they have discussions, they share their personal emotions, feeling, they have parties, they enjoy watching movie and hanging out with each other. Then they definitely have official discussions as well. So by this all, a kind of friendship is being developed among these, okay, and that is creating what? A kind of group. Okay, they are now connected, right? Fine. If any information is going on, they will share with each other immediately on their personal WhatsApp, whatever the source they are using. Fine. So that is creating what? Informal organization. Understood the point? I give you one more example. Okay. Say for example, this Rahul Singh is a roommate of this Lalit Pal. Right? These both are roommates. Let's take it for example. Now, when they are roommate, they will definitely have discussion about their bosses, okay, about their system. So they will develop a kind of friendship with each other. Okay, so in that case, they have, however, he is their own superior position, but even then they both are friends. Understood? So that friendship is forming some kind of group, okay, and that is what the informal organization. Okay, so there can be multiple groups in one organization, okay, and all these multiple groups collectively are called as informal organization. Understood the point? Here there is no rules, there is no policy, there is no system fixed, there are no duties decided. Okay, it is created on its own without anybody's enforcement. I give you one more example. Okay, this assistant manager Rita Bahuguna, okay, has lunch every day with this senior assistant Sunita Roy. Okay, and when they have lunch together, they have discussion about various chats of here and there. Okay, however, she is junior, she is senior, but they have become good friends. Okay, now they have formed their group, right? So that is also the informal organization. So this group entirely is known as informal organization. Understood the point? So it is all about the informal organization. Now let's have discussion about its features. So features of informal organization. Very first, originates from within the formal organization. Already I explained you, in one enterprise, formal organization has to be set up very first, and thereafter the informal organization is created or originates from it. Okay, how? I have told you. Because these people did not know each other earlier, but as they came here to work in the organization, now they are known to each other. Okay, they have started living here and there nearby the organization place. Okay, and now they have formed the relationship with each other. Okay, so we can say that it originates from within the formal organization. Okay, it has no structure, but it is there. Fine. three groups are formed. I have already explained you that one group about these neighbor, okay, and one group about these roommate, and one group about these lunch sharing people. Okay, three groups are made. So all these three groups are collectively known as informal organization. Understood the point? Okay, let's see another feature is standards of behavior evolve from group norms. Okay, now how they are supposed to behave, what they are supposed to say, what they are supposed to do, that is decided on the basis of group. Okay, now let's talk about these. Say for example, all these are boys. This and this I'm talking about right now. Okay, so they have separate norms for their group. Okay, but as these are girls, so they are having different group norms. Okay, and just because of the group norms, their behavior will be influenced. Okay, maybe possible that these are the boys and they are just living together and having late night parties, and maybe possible people do not have late night parties. Okay, they do not like to do it, they just like to share the lunch and have the off and on chat on phone only. Okay, so that is what the standards of behavior evolve from group norms, whatever norms are set in the group. Understood the point? Okay, here follows independent channels of communication. Yes, important one, independent channel, right? Now they can communicate information with each other at any time. They do not depend on anyone. For example, okay, Mr. Mukesh Agarwal informed something to this assistant manager Sumesh Rai. Now that matter was related to production, so informed only him. Okay, he informed his entire team, just following the proper channel. Okay, now Rita Bahugura knows about it. Okay, while having lunch, she has discussion about this with Miss Sunita. Now the information was not related to marketing at all. Even then, Sunita knows, and now she spreads that information anywhere else. If she is having good relationship with him, then she may definitely speak to him as well. Okay, so that is what we can say. There is independent channel of communication. It's not like that Sunita will know everything from her superior only. Okay, she can have information from other channels as well. Understood? The same case can be applied here as well, right? So that is what follows independent channels of communication. Emerges spontaneously. Spontaneously means something is created automatically. Okay, nobody has forced it. Okay, like it starts raining. Nobody can do anything in that, right? Similarly, it is created spontaneously. It's not like that Sunita and Rita, they both planned that we need to have lunch and we need to have good relationships. Not at all. Maybe possible they met each other once and they did not like each other's behavior and the group could not be formed, right? Okay, so on the basis of the interest, it is formed on its own. Understood? Okay, say for example, this Sumesh Rai and Umesh Khatri met with each other. They wanted to become friends, but they did not like each other. They did not become the friends. So no group was created between them. Understood the point? Okay. Now let's move on. So no definite structure. Like I told you, there is no definite structure. Junior is having discussion and relationship with senior. Okay, and the interdepartmental relationships they are having. So no structure is being followed. Okay, anybody can become friend of anyone. Maybe possible that Mr. Sumesh Rai is very good friend of this Mr. Z. Okay, so no kind of structure is followed here. Understood the point? So it was all about the features of informal organization. Whatever I explained to you in meaning and definition, with the help of that, you will understand that all points are hinting towards its feature. Okay. Now let's have discussion about its advantages and disadvantages, and there also we'll have the connection with the features. The good portion of the feature will go to advantages and the bad portion of the features will go to disadvantages. Alright, so let's have a discussion about that. So here are the advantages and disadvantages of informal organization. So let's discuss advantages first. Faster communication. Already in the feature I have explained you that they follow independent channel. Okay, so just because of that the communication gets faster, right? Now we are seeing from the organization point of view. Now the enterprise wants to communicate something faster, then it uses the informal organization. Okay, now what happens if GM was to pass something to Z, then he knows that very well that he is very good friend of this Mr. Sumesh, then he will speak to him and he will directly speak to him. It's not like that just to follow the proper hierarchical system. Okay, so this is what the faster communication. Okay, so that also happens. Maybe possible that he has to make some request which has to go to him directly, so he will speak to him and he will speak to him. Okay, so that also happens. So that is what the faster communication. Understood the point? Here, see, one more thing let me tell you before I proceed further, that the formal organization is a part of organization which is desired. Informal organization is not desired but necessary, because formal organization is having some kind of lacunas, some shortcomings which are compensated by informal organization. Okay, but its disadvantages need to be controlled. Okay, so understand this in that point of view. Okay, let's proceed further. Fulfill social needs. Yes. So as we saw that in the formal organization, human element was missing. No social need was fulfilled. Person was treated like machine. Okay, but in this informal organization, what happens? Just because of that, people are able to fulfill their social needs. We know very well that the man is social being. Okay, it needs society. It needs to get socialized. It has to be there in the group. It has to do party. It has to have discussion. It has to share his emotions. Okay, so for that he needs someone to listen to and to share his feeling with. Right. So that the kind of shortcoming of formal organization is compensated through informal organization. Understood the point? Okay. Next, helps in achieving organizational objectives. Right. It works. See, however, it is the informal organization, it was not created by the enterprise, it was created on its own. Even then, it helps in achieving the organizational objectives. How? I tell you. Okay, see, now, Mr. Sumesh Rai is willing to get some work completed by his entire team. Right? Okay, but in spite of a lot of efforts, it is not happening. He uses now informal channel. He goes to Mr. Z, he has discussion with him, he explains everything, okay, he has party with him, okay, and after that, Mr. Z is very much motivated, he spread this motivation among his group, okay, and then the entire group started working on the objective and ultimately the organizational objectives were achieved, okay. So in that way, it helps in achieving organizational objectives. It is a kind of way, so many bosses use this way. Okay, if their junior subordinate is not following the instructions, formally the work is not getting completed, then what they do? They try to adopt the informal channel. Okay, so that informal organization somewhere helps out to achieve the organizational goal. Understood the point? So it was all about the advantages. Now let's have discussion about the disadvantages. There are few disadvantages as well which are supposed to be avoided. Spread of rumors. As the communication is very faster, then sometimes the rumors means fake information is shared, and that is not there in the interest of the organization. That creates dissatisfaction in the minds of people. So that is what the disadvantage is. Okay, another, resistance to change. Sometimes the management is going to implement some changes, but the separate groups of the informal organizations oppose that. Okay, and when they oppose, then it is not possible to implement the certain changes, and that somewhere hampers the growth of the organization. Okay, they may oppose any kind of rule. Okay, for example, earlier they have the timing of 11 to reach their office. Now the management is willing to make some changes because the management sees some positive aspect of that. The management wants to make the timing 9 o'clock. Okay, however, it wants to reduce the timing from going hours as well. Okay, but still the people are opposing. So, however, it is in the benefit of the organization, but that is not being implemented just because of the resistance to change. Alright, so that is what the negative aspect of that. Another point, pressure of group norms. Sometimes what happens, as I explained to you the various groups, okay, let's take the example of these two roommates, this Mr. Lalit Pal and Rahul Singh. These both are having a group, okay, they have certain norms for that. Okay, sometimes what happens, they show friendship with each other so strictly that they sometimes supersede the organizational interest also for that. So that should not be done. Okay, just because of the pressure of the group norms. Like Mr. Lalit Pal is opposing some kind of rule, okay, and Mr. Rahul Singh, however, he knows that he's wrong, but just to prove his friendship, he is also supporting him. Okay, so that should not be done. That creates problem. Okay, that is what? Pressure of group norms. Okay. So it was all about the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, even then, despite of few disadvantages, the informal organization is very much helpful along with the formal organization for the successful implementation of all the plans and achievement of all the organizational goals. Both the organizations are required, formal as well as informal. Understood the point? Now we have come to know about both kinds of organization in detail. Now let's compare them, okay, or we can say that let's know the difference between them on the basis of some points. All right, so very first I just write down the basis of the differences, then let's have discussion about it. Okay, so let's have difference between formal organization and informal organization. Very first point, meaning already I have discussed with you. You can mention here once again that the formal organization is a well-defined system of job positions bearing authority, responsibility and accountability. Okay, and this you already know that it is a kind of network of social relationships, okay, which is formed automatically just to fulfill the social needs. Okay, I just write it down. Now let's talk about their origin. So formal organization is originated from company's rules and policies. So whatever the policy and rules the organization is having, so according to that it is done. Understood? Say for example the company is having decentralization policy, so according to that the authorities are decided. Understood? Okay, so its origin is company's rules and policies, and its origin, it is a result of social interaction at work. At workplace, if the people are having the social interaction with each other, just because of that the groups are formed. Okay, now authority. So if we see that what kind of authority the people in formal organization hold, okay, so that is created by the virtue of individual's position, right? So if, say for example, if we talk about this person, he is having more authority, okay, he is having less authority, so that is decided by the virtue of individual's position. And here if we see, authority means who will exercise the power, so it depends on the personal qualities. Whoever is having that qualities, he or she will command. Okay, now behavior. So their behavior is guided by the rules, procedure, policy, etc. followed in the organization. Okay, and their behavior, no pattern, right? So not set pattern, so it is not guided by anything. Okay, so flow of communication. Here the flow of communication goes through scalar chain. Okay, this is a scalar chain. The communication will follow in a similar way. Okay, top to bottom or bottom to top. Understood? But here in any direction, or you can say in all direction it can go. Senior can speak to his junior can speak to foremost senior. Okay, they can have interdepartmental interaction. Understood? So in any direction it can go. Its nature is rigid. Why rigid? Because all the rules and regulations are imposed. Okay, so rules are to be followed strictly. If you violate the norms, then you are supposed to pay the penalty. Okay, but here flexible, no rules. It depends on the people, it depends on the member of the groups, whatever they want to follow they can. Leaders, here all the managers are leaders. Okay, say for example for this junior assistant manager, he is leader. Why? Whether he is possessing the leadership quality or not, but he has to follow him. Okay, because he is his superior, so all the managers are leaders. But here the leader is chosen by the group, right? By the group members. Okay, that you see in your friends as well. Okay, if you have a group, then one person is considered a leader. All other members of the group start following him. On the basis of his quality, he becomes leader, right? All the members of the group somewhere willingly, unwillingly choose him just because of his qualification. Okay, now let's talk about flow of authority. So here, flow of authority goes from top to bottom, right? We know very well that the command will be given by general manager to assistant manager, then by assistant manager to senior assistant manager, and by senior assistant manager to junior assistant manager. Understood? So in that way authority goes on. Okay. But here if we see that authority can flow in all directions. Formally you can order only your junior, but informally anything can happen. In friendship everything goes. Okay. Now purpose. So what is the purpose of this? The aim of creating the formal organization is to work systematically and to achieve the organizational goal. I'll just write it down here. Okay. And what is the aim of creating this informal organization? Just to fulfill the social needs, nothing else, so that the person gets job satisfaction. Okay. Stability. So in comparison, this formal organization is more stable. Why it is more stable? Because it exists till the survival of the organization. As long as the organization survives, the formal organization remains in existence. Understood? But that is less stable. Why? Because people at any time can change their group as per their interest desire. Okay, they have fights and disagreement over some point and then they change the group. That is very much possible. Alright. So it is all about the comparison between formal organization and informal organization. We have understood both the organizations in detail. Okay. So here at this point, this chapter number 5 in business study ends. Very soon I'll be meeting you with the another video related to further chapters. Till then, thank you. Bye bye.